In recent years, China has seen a growing number of highly educated women in their 30s and beyond who remain unmarried. Many older single women in China demand partners who match or exceed their own achievements.
重庆之所以有80%。
The reason why Chongqing has 80% of its leftover women is because they treat the top-tier conditions for men as their own minimum standards. I just took a stroll around Renmin Park and noticed that 90% of the profiles were women's. And most of those women, regardless of their own circumstances, demand that the man must own a house and a car in Chongqing, earn an annual salary of over 200,000 yuan, be at least 175 centimeters tall, have parents with social security, and some even require that the man's parents work within the system, government or state-owned sectors. I couldn't help but say, "Your standards are so high." But they immediately got upset and replied, "Isn't that the most basic requirement? How is that high? Without a house, where would we live? Without a car, how would we get around? Without financial stability, how could we support a family?" That barrage of questions left me speechless. So I asked, "Then what can you offer?" They said, "I'll bear him a child, isn't my sacrifice big enough?" Honestly, men who meet those conditions are considered top tier in the dating market. There are plenty of young, beautiful girls lining up to meet them. I really want to ask, would a man like that choose a woman over 30? What do you all think?
好了，别再骂我要求高了。
Okay, stop scolding me for having high standards. With a master's degree, wanting to find someone with at least a bachelor's degree isn't too much to ask, right? I own 2 apartments and want to find someone who has at least a down payment for a home in Zhejiang province, urban or rural doesn't matter. And don't worry, your property wouldn't need to include my name. That's not unreasonable, is it? If you're concerned that both my apartments still have mortgages, after we get together I'll sell one of them. The other will then be fully paid off and I'll still have some savings left. Third, I'm asking for a 50,000 yuan betrothal gift, bride price, but I'm willing to contribute 60,000 yuan myself, so it's like there's no actual bride price, and I'm even adding an extra 10,000 yuan. We'll combine this 110,000 yuan as a future child-rearing fund. Before marriage, we can exchange health checkup reports. If it turns out I can't have children, I'll return your bride price to you. Fourth, regarding height, since I've already compromised on the first 3 criteria, I'm 158 centimeters and would like someone over 175 centimeters. But if you think my height requirement is too strict, I can settle for 168 centimeters and above. So, if these conditions are met, then we can talk about things like shared interests, values, and emotional support, which I think are perfectly reasonable. Why are people associating me with gold diggers or materialistic women?
通勤省率多。
The rise of leftover women is because they see top-tier men as the bare minimum. Groups of women who've been on 30-plus blind dates earning just 5K a month still say with full confidence, "If you don't own a house, where am I supposed to live? If you don't have a car, how are we supposed to go out?" But in reality, men who meet these standards are rare in Chongqing. Young women are fighting over them. Why would they choose older ones? Put yourself in their shoes. If you were that eligible, who would you pick?
很多人都问我，你34。
Many people ask me, why haven't you gotten married by the age of 34? Is it because your standards are too high because you're too picky? I've always been picky and my criteria are mainly the following. First, he must have hair. Half hair, no hair, a Mediterranean balding, or just 3 strands in the front. None of that works. Second, his weight should be between 140 and 180 pounds. If he's under 140 pounds or over 200 pounds, sorry, no. Third, his lips should be normal, not the kind that are overly protruding like this or like that. That won't do. And fourth, no bow legs.
在婚恋市场，优质剩女期。
In the marriage market, so-called high-quality single women are actually the losers in female competition. First, let's define what a high-quality single woman is. She typically has a good education, a respectable job, an income at least 300% above the local average, fully paid-off property and car, parents with dual retirement insurance, no family burdens, is over 30 years old, and has the intention to find a partner. The rules for women finding a partner are determined by men's mate selection criteria, while the rules for men finding a partner are determined by women's mate selection criteria. However, the target demographic these high-quality single women aim for usually has very different preferences. Their ideal partners are younger women with decent looks and a good temper. So, why would such men choose these high-quality women who may not be as attractive, might have a bad temper, and whose fully paid-off assets have nothing to do with them? What's in it for these men?
大龄剩女嫁不出去，真的没有一
None of the leftover women who can't get married are truly innocent. Lately, many unmarried women over 35 have been coming to me for advice. Just yesterday, a 36-year-old woman told me she wasn't unable to get married. She just hadn't found the right person yet. So I asked her what her requirements were. She said she didn't have any, just that they had to like each other. So I asked her, would you like a man with no car and no house? After thinking for a moment, she said, well, at our age, if a man still doesn't own a car or a house, there must be something wrong with his ability. So I pressed further, what about an ugly guy under 170 centimeters? Could you like him? She immediately shook her head. Asterisk, I'm not looking for a super handsome guy, but he can't be ugly either. At least decent looking, clean and presentable. And height-wise, he should be at least 175 centimeters. I'm 164 centimeters myself. Asterisk. Then I asked, what if he earns less than 10,000 a month? Could you accept that? She replied, 10,000? Oh, that's such a low standard of living. If we have kids later, formula, tuition, living expenses, car loans, mortgages, social obligations with relatives, plus supporting aging parents, how could 10,000 possibly be enough? I think he should make at least 20,000. So I said, asterisk, what about blue-collar workers, small business owners, or salespeople? If they work hard, they can make 20,000 a month, though they might not have high education. Asterisk. She shook her head again. Ugh, that's so embarrassing. My friends would laugh at me. I waited all these years just to end up with a guy like that? I mean, I at least have an office job. Finally, I asked, what about a divorced man with kids? She firmly refused. He had to be unmarried, since she herself had never been married. See? These are all requirements. I told her. The reason you can't find someone is that your standards are too high. A car, a house, a respectable job, over 20,000 a month, no past marriages, not short, not ugly, decent education, and you claim you have no requirements? What would count as having requirements then? She argued back, I don't actually care that much about material things. I just want to find someone I truly like. So I said to her, well, who doesn't like a tall, rich, handsome man? But the real question is, would a tall, rich, handsome man even want you?
我今年33岁，大龄未婚。
I'm 33 this year, unmarried and considered leftover. Many people say, why do normal, older single women have such high standards? Today, I'm going to tell you the truth. Right now, the entire internet is criticizing older single women for having unrealistic expectations. But the reality is that those who have worked hard to build their lives independently are no different from self-made men. Both groups feel a deep sense of reluctance when it comes to settling down. Take many high-quality men, for example. They have money, don't engage with prostitutes, don't go to bars or nightclubs, didn't casually date or sleep around when they were younger. They're handsome, responsible, and focused on earning a good living. These men are the cream of the crop, and if you ask about their standards for a partner, you'll see just how high they are. They want a woman who is pure, cute, beautiful, gentle, virtuous, from a decent family with a clean background. Now, flip the genders, it's the same for older unmarried women. When they were younger, they didn't date around, didn't party at bars or clubs, rejected all temptations from the opposite sex, and instead focused on earning money, saving, working out, and reading. How could you say such a woman would have low standards? While other women were using their youth to make mistakes in relationships, she was saving money. While other women were drinking and indulging with male friends, she was working out. While other women jumped from one failed relationship to the next to heal their wounds, she spent years healing herself, without losing control, without seeking comfort in another man just to get over her pain. Men and women who haven't wasted their youth and emotions on reckless relationships have equally high standards. Would a disciplined, self-controlled, handsome, high-quality, financially independent man willingly marry a woman who has dated or slept with many men? No way. So why do self-respecting, disciplined older single women have such high expectations for their future partners? Truthfully, their standards aren't high at all, if you set aside financial factors and just look at character. In today's world, clean living, disciplined men with strong goals and a sense of responsibility are far too rare.
Why are there so many leftover women nowadays?
In reality, age is the least of their issues. These women are essentially like tough old pigeons, impossible to boil tender, too hard to chew, stubbornly set in their ways, and extremely difficult to please. The moment they open their mouths, it's all about money, expectations, security, and bride price. Despite having little to offer themselves, they impose ridiculously high standards and demands on men. Being with such a woman won't just bring no benefit to your family or career, she'll constantly drain your energy and wealth, even becoming a lifelong burden. They spend their whole lives fantasizing about a domineering CEO falling in love with their lazy, good-for-nothing selves. If you ever encounter one, don't hesitate, run for the hills immediately. If you even pause for 3 seconds, I'd assume you're setting yourself up for lifelong emotional trauma.
你们知道女生为什么要求
Do you know why women have high standards? Because a woman's mindset when choosing a partner comes from her peak experiences. For example, many women have dated rich second-generation guys, ridden in Porsches, and then feel that whoever they marry in the future must at least meet that standard. Some might even look down on luxury brands like BMW, Benz, or Audi, BBA. That's why, when many women come to me to match them with potential partners, they often say things like, "My ex-boyfriend was so rich, so amazing. But if your ex was so great, why did you break up? Did you leave him, or did he not choose you?" So, those so-called exes of yours are just the highest points you've experienced. Do you understand? And once you're past 27, the quality of the people you meet through blind dates will only keep getting worse.
不要和索取型的女人
Being with a woman who only takes, such a woman is not only ruthless but also extremely selfish. She believes that being good to her is something you should do. This kind of woman will never cherish you, nor will she reciprocate your efforts. She lives entirely within her own mindset, convinced that you must treat her well to even deserve being with her. So, when you're with a woman like this, you'll find yourself exhausted, because you constantly have to please her, indulge her. You can't slack off even a little, or she'll accuse you of having a bad attitude the moment her temper flares. Later, she'll make your life miserable. Honestly, the tantrums are the least of it. She might even resort to cold violence, disappearing for days, or worse, getting emotionally involved with other men. Think about it. Being with someone so disloyal, someone who jumps from one relationship to the next without a second thought. No matter what happens between you, in her mind, you're always the one at fault. When she's in a bad mood, you're expected to tolerate her unconditionally. But if you're feeling down and ask for a little comfort or affection, she'll snap. Not a chance. You're a grown man. Not only will she refuse to comfort or understand you, she'll call you emotionally unstable, act impatient, and say you're childish, crazy, or just looking for trouble. Then she'll claim that being with you has been so exhausting, that you don't respect her, that she has no freedom, that you never appreciate her, that you don't know how to care for her. Sound familiar? With a woman like this, no matter how much you give, you'll never earn her approval, let alone her respect. The only time she'll show you even a hint of kindness is when she senses you're slipping from her control, just enough to reel you back in. But the moment you fall into the cycle of doting on her again, she'll revert to her old ways. That tiny bit of warmth she shows you? It's just a tool to keep you hooked. Understand now, brothers?
他要求你有房有车
If she requires you to have a house and a car, you can request her GPA test results. If she demands a high bride price, you can ask for an equivalent dowry. If she claims she only needs to stay pretty, you can insist her looks remain flawless forever. If she expects you to be the breadwinner, you can demand her to be thrifty and manage the household well. If she refuses to live with your parents, you can request her to visit her own family less often. Cultivate a fair and equal view of marriage. Start now.
我从女生的角度揭露
Revealing things girls are reluctant to admit from a female perspective. Most pretty girls actually have a thing for unattractive guys and even chase after them. Average-looking girls usually go for handsome guys, while those who are less conventionally attractive often have the highest standards. Easygoing girls don't care much about a guy's temper, but those with bad tempers demand that men be emotionally stable. Tall girls aren't too picky about height, just close to theirs is fine, while shorter girls often insist on dating guys over 6 feet. The worse someone's own conditions are, the higher their expectations in a partner tend to be. Society places too much importance on superficial traits, but love isn't about appearances. There's so much more to it. Got relationship troubles? Come chat with me.
女生越不按你要
The less she loves you, the more she demands. Women are emotional creatures. The more she loves you, the fewer boundaries she has. But the less she loves you, the more she'll demand from you. So, brothers, think about it. When you act cold toward women, don't they start circling around you? If she truly loves you, it doesn't matter if you have no car, no house, or a bad personality. None of that is a problem. But if she doesn't love you, she'll suddenly become rational, criticizing you for being fat, ugly, poor, or stingy. Or she'll compare you to other men's boyfriends. No matter what you do, she'll find fault with you. You think giving in will make her happy? Brothers, let me tell you, she'll only demand more and more. Today, she'll want emotional support. Tomorrow, she'll want material things. If you refuse, she'll throw a fit. If you give in, she'll keep asking. Eventually, you'll be drained and fed up. The truth is, if a girl constantly makes demands, it means she thinks you're beneath her. She's into someone who ignores her, and she's just using you as a stepping stone. She'll bite the hand that feeds her, then walk away once she's gotten what she wants. No matter how much you cater to her, it won't change the fact that she doesn't love you. A woman like this will only focus on a man's flaws. She won't see your worth, and there's no long-term future with her. If you want a good woman, you've got to be picky. If you're still single and don't know how to pursue women, drop me a 666, and I'll help you out.